Hey guys, today I got a comment on a different video from WorldGate989, somebody I've made a response video to his comments before. One of my better commenters as far as critical thinking goes, right? So he said, so I have to ask, why so many mics, right? And so I felt like I gave him a pretty good explanation, but for the rest of you, so that, I just answer it once and for all. This has been a work in progress, where I have this now triple mic stand here that some people have actually responded to me in tweets or told me in comments that they love this. Like, they're envious of the triple mic stand. It's on a boom, actually. If I turn a little bit more here, you can see that it's all on a boom that, cranes in to me. And the purpose of it is actually, it's part of a larger satire about everything that is in the shot right here, right? Except for maybe the chairs, okay? So we'll begin with the mics. Although they do have a functional purpose, they are over the top as far as their presentation, especially where they are on the screen, like prominently displayed, because it's satire of other YouTubers. And no YouTuber in particular, although I'll say it goes from top to bottom. From those YouTubers who want to be famous and are getting just hundreds of views per video, all the way up to PewDiePie, who has pop screens that are extraneous, and sometimes he'll have a simple setup where there is obviously zip ties holding together the pop screen onto his microphone, but then he'll have this huge set up in a cubicle that he made, like his own little studio that he rented out. And, he's gone through different phases. And one of those really did inspire a lot of other YouTubers. Another big one would be, say, Keemstar. You can see his microphones, and, he's got a set that he's wanting to show off. He's got, like, the Alienware laptop, For me, part of it is everything that you're seeing in this frame right here. It is a reflection of me woven into the satire, right? So I do a lot of painting. Not on this channel so much. Some on other channels, some just not even for you guys to see. But I do a lot of painting. It's one of my releases. It's another interest of mine. And the paintings that I made for the backdrop here, I'll just grab the camera. This is another thing that I do that's part of satire, is sometimes I'll turn the camera around at the computer screen, instead of doing like screenshots and stuff. It's just to show like the low budgetness of what I'm doing, right? I could do screenshots. I have the technology. I just like to go lazy sometimes, just to be funny. Let's zoom in here. This is what's behind me. There's a little poop. That's inspired by Liz Reptile right there. Shitlordess that she is. This is a painting that I did in a hangout on this channel. Basically, it's an award for 10,000 subscribers that I will hand down to somebody else when they get 10,000 subscribers. But basically, it's like the YouTube plaques that they give out. They give out the golden play button and the silver play button for astronomically high subscriber counts that most of you will never get to. I will probably never get to in a reasonable amount of time when it'll still be worth it to me. This one I also painted on this channel in a hangout. YouTube likes #feminism. And I asked people to send me, maybe somebody has a P.O. box that they accept fan mail. Send me somebody who wants that. Even if it's ironic. That's the rate button, the subscribe. That was inspired by Happy Cabby's T-shirt that he wore a couple times. That right there is comment. It doesn't come across in a lot of my videos because it's too small of print to see. But yeah, so another part of what's in frame behind me is the fact that these are books. And these are books, and I've made videos about which of them I've read and which of them I plan to read, right? I make no bones about that. I haven't read every one of these books. But everything in the middle right here, except for the Marshall lamp that's down there, right? Everything in the middle right here that gets on screen, those are actually paintings, right? And they look like books, but they're not books, right? Those are just paintings on their side. Let me get a little closer, right? So what's up with that is I started with just putting bookshelves behind me as a bit of a satire about a couple specific YouTubers, most notably Rebecca Watson, who in many of her videos had different bookshelf arrangements, and it seems like she was using the bookshelves behind her to make herself look smarter, right? So that started the whole satirical setup here. So I started putting bookshelves behind me, and then, as was the theme of my channel back then, I had a bunch of candy Jesus fish and crosses that were like chocolate crosses, but they were still in the box, and I had them in the background, and people thought that those were books too. And then I just started putting other things back there that also look like books. But the painting thing is me. But the fact that I stacked them like books to, make it look like it's a bookshelf, that's actually part of the satire that I'm doing. This is not a product. This play button on the microphone cover right here, I painted that, and I said that in a previous video, but if you look really closely, you can see, like when it's zoomed out, you can't really see how it's still got pores. I could put a little bit more paint on that to make it look a little bit more professional when I zoom in. But when I have it all the way out here, you guys can't tell. It just looks solid white, right? This microphone flag, if you don't know what this box is, when interviewers have their logo of their network on a box on their microphone, this is the flag of the microphone, okay? I didn't know, so I thought maybe some of you wouldn't know. This is actually a sticker that I trimmed down that I got at a national forest. It had a play button on it. I was like, oh, that's neat. I'll just pimp out national forests because I don't have any sponsors. And I probably will never get any serious sponsorship on this channel. But I like national forests. They've given me a lot of good content that I put on this channel, so I'll pimp them out. In the future, I do plan to do an art piece with some of the sound foam that people have been soundproofing their studios with. And because this room that I do this in, it has kind of tapered ceiling back here, it is a little bit difficult to work with because it's not just about like hanging it the way that people would hang it on a flat wall. It's going to be angled, and so it's got to be held up in a different way. But I do want to do like something over the top artistically with it, not just what the other YouTubers are doing. And sometimes I see their soundproofing. It's just like one part of one wall. It's obviously just to show off that they got the soundproofing because they're serious YouTubers. It's not actually soundproofing their audio. You can tell that maybe they're using a lapel mic. Maybe they're using a setup to where they're not echoing, but it's not the soundproofing that is helping anything. You know, it's just showing off. And that's what I'm making a satire of. Those YouTubers who show off their setup, and they are obviously doing it just to look like more professional YouTubers. You know, this chair has been a standard thing in a lot of my videos. This is actually like 2.0 that I got when I moved here in 2014, I think, into this room. Previously, I had a different chair with a big back to it that was also a recliner. But I know that sometimes it looks intimidating because it's like Dr. Claw turned around and Inspector Gadget is now looking at his enemy, you know? But it actually served a function because I had a fall down some stairs like 2010, and I originally put a recliner in where I was filming my videos because I had a bruised tailbone. And it was like severely, I don't know if it was broken because I didn't go to a butt doctor, but I was having trouble sitting down in the same place and then getting up. It was a bad time, especially the fact that I could have dropped everything that I was carrying down the stairs, and I didn't because I was more worried about the stuff than I was me. And my butt basically hit every stair on the way down. I just kind of went, da, 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 da. And that's the reason originally for the recliner. Then I just feel like, you know, this is comfortable. You know, that computer chair over there it serves its purpose when I need to bring it in to be able to swivel around. My art table is actually to the left for me, to the right for you. And that's where I've been doing my overhead shots for Hangouts. So sometimes I bring in that computer chair because it's just about utility and being able to swing around and do everything. But this is fucking comfortable, and now I don't want to give it up. My butt is fine now. There's no butt hurt at all. But so that's the tour of my satire. You know, this is another row of paintings over here, and it's probably going to get like down here somewhere instead of like that bathroom tile that's right there that I'm going to paint because I have an idea for an art piece for that. There's probably going to be something, you know, down there that has something to do with just poking fun at other YouTubers. Everything that points this way, basically, I've been making fun of other YouTubers and having fun on YouTube doing it. And everything pointing that way, the way that everything that's off camera is actually way more about functionality. You know? So that's it. That's why so many microphones. Oh, also, the purple one is actually connected to the computer that's behind the camera right now. But the blue one, if I pull it off, it's actually connected to nothing right now. The red one, if I were to follow the cable back, it's actually disconnected as well. Let's get that off there. There's the end of that microphone cable. But none of them are actually the source of the audio for this video that you're watching, and most all of them that are using this camera, this camcorder that I'm shooting on, that is like my go-to camcorder. So yeah, this microphone in the center, sometimes when I'm doing Hangouts, I'll have that one on. But these other two, I have plans for them, for some sound effects style things. I've got this mixer right here in this box, and there. I don't know if I'll be able to get it on screen in a way that looks over the top, hoity-toity. You know, maybe I could have a little table down here it'll like prop it up, and you'll be able to see the mixer. But you know, if I do come up with an idea like that, you guys will see it, and it'll be like obviously over the top. And even then, it'll be sitting there, have some other function for other videos that I'm making, and not be on while I'm filming. Like, it'll be displayed in the videos that it's not being used for. You know, just like this. In the videos that I use this microphone here the most in, you don't see it as much because I'm doing screenshot videos and stuff like that. You know, where I'm actually running it through like Camtasia Studio or OBS, and I'm producing it on my computer. You know, this is all produced on a camcorder with just the camcorder mic and the camcorder video. And I just feel, if you're one of my longtime viewers that watches every video, you've probably seen the evolution of this. And if you're not, you might start to think, like, just like Poe's Law, you might start to think, hey, this guy is seriously trying to be one of those big YouTubers. Look at all the stuff he's got set up. No, that's not it. And I know this is a response to a comment on somebody else's video from Scented Nectar, where she was trying to make the point that one of my previous videos, because my arguments were actually effective, that I wasn't doing satire and it wasn't Poe's Law, and I was just, you know, talking out my ass and trying to defend myself from something. I don't think that, Scented Nectar, I don't think that you understand Poe's Law, because if taken to its extreme, the more you look like the thing that you're satirizing, the more you're going to have people convinced that you're not satire. You know, the closer you are to actually mimicking it. And it really has nothing to do with how effective your arguments might actually be to part of the audience. You know, part of the reason for Poe's Law is saying, like, basically, if I were to spout some white nationalist bullshit, like, you shouldn't have white guilt because I don't know. I don't know a lot of white nationalists. Sorry, I don't watch a lot of it. But reverse racism isn't a thing because reverse racism is racism. You know, if I were to start spouting that, that's one of them that I remember from years ago. Some people would take that talking point and totally run with it and be like, yeah, I get this guy. Even if I was saying it in satire. Because I was trying to make a parody of someone. So, whether or not you're effective in your arguments has nothing to do with if you're satirizing something or not. Like, because Poe's Law, tells you if you get too close in your mimicry of something else, if you're that effectively showing that you can get like close to that, and then you just have a little bit of a twist, some people aren't going to get that twist, right? Similarly, people think that channels like Jeff Holliday are alt-right. They think that Lacey Green tweeted at Philip DeFranco calling him alt-right, because he had a couple things that he disagreed with her on. He didn't meet her purity test, and he got misunderstood. Some of the things he said sounded familiar as alt-right things, and maybe it's because in every sort of ideology, it's not all bad. Maybe there's little nuggets of truth in most of the ways people think, and every perspective has a little bit of truth to it. Maybe. I don't know. Last thing I'll showcase is this t-shirt that I had gotten years ago from The Doctor Who nerd, Alan, one of my first friends here on YouTube. It says, the more you pwn, right? It's satire. It's based on some you youngins, you millennials wouldn't know this, but there was a Saturday morning cartoon commercial PSA series that had like the more you know, and it had this star flying across. And do I really like ponage culture anymore? No, I've kind of grown out of it, you know. But I've resurrected this T-shirt because although I've grown out of like ponage culture, I feel like it fits this mood of satire that I've been working towards. I've just been very disillusioned with the idea, the prospect of YouTube fame, you know, and I feel like in my journey here as a YouTuber, I've become very jaded when it comes to the draw of YouTube. Like, obviously, there are some of us who can make thousands of videos and never get tired of it, you know. But there are a lot of people who just get drawn into this churning machine of you can be famous, just make videos, and then they don't get famous, and then they get really just sad, depressed over the way that they failed, and then they leave. And there's a whole bunch of flash in the pan examples that have happened over the years where I just feel like, man, that was somebody who had a lot of talent. They came, they didn't get the reception that they wanted, and they got really hurt by it, you know? My best analogy for this is something from the other part of my life that I don't show here on YouTube. If I were to go to a craft fair and I know I'm going to sell my paintings at a rate where I'm going to make the money back for the table that I bought. You know, I get this 8-foot wide table and I can put my racks that I've built to have my paintings out, and I can sell enough money. I can get enough sales to pay for the table and pay for my time being there and pay for the time that I put into my paintings, right? And say it was like $65. Well, if you take the materials of my paintings, the amount of time I put into them, and the rental of the table, the time I spend at the craft fair selling, I can still make minimum wage as an artist, right? Not many people can. And what I see is a lot of times people get sucked into going to a craft fair where they're spending more on just being there than they're making in money. And by the end of the day, you can see like they start with a smile and then you see this frown come over them. And I've seen this happen here on YouTube with people not being happy with the responses that they're getting and the amount of viewership and likes and comments and whatnot. I see this happening all the time, you know, in the art world and in YouTube. And I tell people in the art world all the time, if it's going to hurt you if you don't sell enough to make back your investment, then don't go. I tell people if there's no guaranteed foot traffic, you know, if you don't know that this event that you're going to is going to have a lot of people go, don't go. Because I will sell about one painting per every 50 people that walk by. Right? That's the level of greatness that I have. Okay? It's not very great because the price point of my painting is very small. Right? I don't sell them, you know, like some people will sell one painting for $5,000 once in their life to their aunt, and it was like oil paint that you know they put on this 3-foot by 4-foot canvas. They put as much into the oil paints as they actually got back in the sale. Like the time and effort plus the oil paint that they used was worth more than the money that they got back. But it sounds really great that they sold a painting for a lot of money, right? Me, my price point is like between $20 and $50. $50 max for something really good. Anything like those would be probably under $20 just as quick sales because you got $20 in your wallet and I want it, right? And I've come up with a formula for going to public things like that, where if I do go, I'm going to make my money back, my investment back, and I'm not going to get hurt, you know. And I'm going to do my research on, you know, the venue itself, the event itself, as far as does it have a history of other events being run there? Is this an annual thing where people know about it? Is it at a high school where it's going to be word of mouth spreads and a lot of people come? Is the foot traffic going to be there, right? On YouTube, you don't get that. What you get is this is the largest platform for videos. It's the most successful. It's the most rewarding as far as revenue in CPM terms. But if you were just looking for thankless video views and just that one number going up and being padded by like 10-second scroll pasts, you're better off putting your video on Facebook. Seriously, a lot of the big creators here on YouTube will have their video stolen and posted on Facebook for them in a way where they're not getting paid. They make a lot of money here on ad revenue, and then their video actually gets like 20 to 30 times as many views on Facebook because some yokel decided, oh, I can take that and put it on my my Facebook page, and then I'll get a lot of likes on my Facebook page. Maybe some people will decide to like the page instead of just the video. They'll top and tail it with their own branding and not even think that they're stealing. Or they'll just be stealing and they'll know. But yeah, this place right here, this platform of YouTube, it's cutthroat sometimes. And if you're not willing to accept the negative aspects of that when they finally do happen, that you've put hours upon hours into a video and maybe a lot of money into a video, and you didn't get the viewership that you wanted, and the most viewership you can possibly get here is talking shit about another YouTuber. If you're not willing to accept that when it happens, then you might have your passion killed. You might have a stake put right through the heart of your passion for being a YouTube artist. And that's kind of the inspiration for a lot of my feelings towards this satire, this setup. I'm going over the top because most people, when they start their channel and they have better content than me, they're not even going to make it as far as me. In longevity, in viewership, and all of the metrics that matter to people as far as whatever they're here for. So yeah, I'm going to go make a video for the Breakfast Club now. I've been having some good interactions over there, and the Breakfast Club channel, it's a multi-user channel. For those of you who don't know, I'll leave a link in the description box to the Breakfast Club. It's actually people making videos talking to each other, and they're doing it for no pay and no views that they can really add to their own channel's view count. It's giving your content to this project where you're not going to get any of those accolades at all. You're not going to get a subscriber for giving them your video. That channel's going to get the subscription, And there are a lot of people who could not fathom giving content away like that and not getting rewarded with their own likes and subscriptions, being able to collaborate on something where I'm not expecting anything in return and it's just for the sake of the art is a refreshing aside from regular YouTube and doing it for the views and subs. And that's why I appreciate that channel. That's why I have filled in on it on occasion. That's why I've been following it since its inception. And I've been on other channels like that before. Most notably, it was Whovians USA back in the day. That was a collaboration between me and the Doctor Who nerd, the guy that bought me this T-shirt. And I feel like there are many functions to this platform that some of them have disappeared because people didn't use them enough. But there are many social networking functions here on this platform, this YouTube platform, that are very underutilized. And people see this as miniature TV. And you can be the star. And you can make the money. And you can be successful and quit your day job and just do this full time. And you can be rewarded for having opinions. Because in real life opinions are like assholes, but here on the internet somehow there's a currency, that is correlating to how much bullshit you spew. No, fucking no. That's the idea behind going over the top with all of this, And I hope those of you who understand it enjoy it. And I hope that those of you who don't understand it are pissed off. Again, link in the description box to the Breakfast Club. Just subscribe to it in general. And maybe you'll actually get some videos that will nourish your brain rather than some self-aggrandizing comment, and rate bullshit. Mini TV here on YouTube. Fuck all that shit. Go for some real content. Some people who are actually talking to each other rather than past each other. How about that? Okay? Link in the description box. Take care, guys.